Didn't quite run all the way.
In those shoes, you are us.
Thank you. You want us to shut the door, Matt? Doesn't matter.
Your choice.
Okay. Oh, I hope you guys got some donuts to start the day with.
I know, right?
If we get tired, we know where we'll get our sugar.
That's right, that's right. Let's take a quick minute to do a quick intro. So I'm Shivani Dallas. I've been with Keller Williams now 2 years this month. 2 years in the industry, 12 years was with Remax, and it has been an amazing transition. I was a solo agent for all 12 years, started a team here. That was the main reason for coming. And it's been tough, fallen off the bike quite a few times in the last 2 years because it's new, right? Transitioning from taking on a 10-member team. So there's a lot of learning that goes along with it. But where I might be able to relate most to where you are, well, I guess we'll find out where everybody is in their journey. But where I might be able to relate the most is how I built my business without spending a lot of money, without lead gen platforms is what I meant, sorry. Database is huge, that's what this is about. And I've taught of Ignite a few times in the past, mainly because this relates most to my personal business. This is how I was able to just learn how to nurture that database, learn the importance of care. And we're in a very, very big shift. I've been in this shift for over 2 years where internet is doing more and more. Our fear as agents becomes, will we be obsolete? Will we still have enough value for the clients to reach out to you personally? And this is what this is about. It's about sending the right message to the database. A high-tech, high-touch company. What I'm teaching today is high touch. My entire career in real estate, high touch. How do you bring the most optimum level of care to a client so that real estate, when somebody around them says they need real estate, how do you do that? So little bit background of my team. We are a 10-member team. This year we're on track to do roughly 160, 170 units. And out of those numbers, almost 100 are going to be from database. That is how much this part, this is how important this is to us. The rest of it all comes from online platforms, which we'll touch on a little bit as well, because that is also your future database, and how do you use them to nurture. So if we could just start maybe in the front, just take a turn and introduce yourselves and tell me how long you've been in the business so I know my audience.
Starting with me.
Hi.
I'm Carly. I've been in business just about a year. Just over.
Awesome. Good year?
Good year.
I'm Corey. I'm from the Kenny Klaus team. I just came here about a month ago, but I've been in the business about a year.
I'm Jamie, and I just moved to the Kenny Klaus team also, but I just started business in a few
Great.
months.
I'm Paula. I'm on the Beth Madsen team, and I've been about 6.
I'm Susie Steinman. I've been in business about 26 years.
Nathan Bigger
Okay, oh yeah.
and Jackie Needham.
I had to know with Jackie. Two of my favorite people. Welcome. Good to meet you as well. I don't think I know them well, so good.
I'm Alicia, and I just got my license
Yay, our newbie. Welcome.
I'm Laura Mejia, and I've been in business for 15 months, a year on Shivani Dallas' team.
Sarah Anderson, and I'm in the
Good to meet you, Sarah.
Jeff Cars and had my license for about 17 years, but last 2 months full time.
I'm Marcia, and I'm new since August. I got my license in July, and I started here in August.
Okay, great.
My name is Vince Davis. I've had my license for 29 years.
Clint, are you new with KW, or you've been here for a little bit? I just haven't seen you.
I'm with West SA.
Okay, awesome, welcome. Happy to have you here.
got my license in July, and he and I are partners at West USA.
Okay, wonderful. Good, good, good. 29 years, is that what you said? That's great. So you've seen all of this.
Two crashes.
Yeah. He says they're crashes. They're really not crashes. No kidding. They're crashes. When the shift hits, the shift hits. That is what it is. So we're going to start with basically the important, and I would Susie, is there a student guide up here, just so I know where they are in their books? Do you know?
I know online you can access it if you want to.
Okay.
I know
Following.
that the pages are different, I don't know.
That's why I'm
They're
asking.
like 2 pages off.
2 pages off? Okay, perfect, perfect. So what we'll talk about today, what we'll start with today is what is a database? Plain and simple. So those of you that are on a team, you guys are going right onto these platforms, CRM platforms, you deposit your database. A CRM is a contact program that we use to manage every contact that you know. I use it to manage every I know. I've used Realty Juggler for a very, very long time. That goes hand in hand with my Sync platform. My Sync platform is my business platform. My Realty Juggler is my everybody in my life platform, down to relatives, friends, acquaintances, everything. And programs like MailChimp, just so that your email ads spammed in the long run. That is why these CRMs are so important. They do hide the fact that you are sending emails out at the same time, 500 emails out at the same time, and if you do that from like a regular Gmail account, Cox account, AOL account, you are going to get tagged as spam, or people will not be able to accept what you are sending. So just important to know that as you're sending out, we are a touch company. That's what we believe in, and as you're doing this, how important it is to use a system so many of you that are on teams, you guys are going to enter onto CRMs that are already set up for you, and you're going to start putting everything at the same time. Awesome. That's a lot going on in your lives, right? So that homework can set the pace for your tomorrow. I mean, without a doubt. If there's one thing you can learn from Bold as you walk out of there is the discipline to make those contacts. That's what people, don't be the secret agent. Be the agent that openly discusses what is going on in the market and know your value and know the market. Fill your database. Anybody who is new entering the business, I usually tell them, go back 2 years, go back 3 years, go back 4 years, go back as far as you can and capture the name, email, start putting them into your database and start to categorize them, okay? Your database should, and that's your own code system, by the way. There is no genius code system that works. It's what works for you and what you can adapt to. I know people who have over 10 to 20 tags in a database. A tag, future buyer, past buyer, present buyer. For me, it's client. Easiest for me. My database is ABC. That's it. My entire database revolves around ABC. The way I categorize is C is everybody I meet goes into that database. Whether you bought from me, whether you're going to buy from me, whether you're never going to buy from me, you go into the C database. My B client is anybody that I have done business with in the past. At some point, I have represented them directly. My A is tying to. My A client, my A database is my clientele that refers me. I've done business with them or not, they are my source of referral. You have somebody in your database that you have never done business with before. Super easy. I entered at that time, and my very first client, January of 2006, was an attorney out of Las Vegas who owned 4 homes up here. Called me, wanted to know, would you be kind enough to list a couple of my houses for a short sale? I said, I'm brand new in the business, but I don't know what a short sale is. I've got to check that out. I had a broker telling me, do not short sales, it's a huge legal liability. They're saying anybody who does short sales is going to get sued. And this attorney said, I will connect you to the resource who can negotiate that short sale. You can legally list it in Arizona. He lives in Vegas. He can negotiate the short sale for you. You led to 500 short sales through 2013. That's how many I did total. That is what built a database. That was not saying no to an opportunity, but saying yes and then learning how should it be done and how should it be. Andy, who was the attorney from Vegas, turned out after 5-6 months of getting to know him a little bit, he represented the board of real estate in the state of Nevada. So what Andy did for me was tremendous. Andy sent a handful of letters to all of his attorney database out here and said, anybody who does sell with you, here's your gal. She'll get it listed. She's got a partner who's been doing short sales for over 20 years. So Ron in Vegas Short sales weren't new to our industry. Ron had been negotiating short sales for over 20 years. It was just new to our market. And so he would be my negotiator, I would be the listing agent. 2 years into this, our rules changed in Arizona. You could not have an outside broker or an outside agent negotiating on your behalf. So we couldn't work together anymore, but what I learned in that 2 years, I was able to carry on in my own business and implement it after that. That is what taught me that you don't have to ever do business for somebody to be their referral. I probably have a good 25 professionals in that database, financial advisors, insurance agents. Real estate is mentioned. They are your cheerleader and they are the ones to send a client to you. I've never done real estate personally. The rest of the database, in my database, are people that I've done multiple transactions in, people who send me other clients in there, came to me in early 2007. She wanted to do a short sale. And the bank, it doesn't matter, you bought this house for $300 and now it's worth $90. And she was in a predicament. She said, I have a secret clearance, and if I do a short sale, it will be held against me. I will not be able to keep my job. So we met with Chase Bank on a one-on-one, talked to them, negotiated a payoff. Chase Bank in writing to say, we will give you $7,000 out of pocket on top of the short sale approval if you do not report her as a short sale because of her clearance. Chase agreed in writing. That was so tremendous to her that to date, from early 2007 to today, Heather has referred over 46 clients to myself and my team. That chain is so big. That is how big database is. That is how it is. That the care that you put into a client and listening to them and their needs, that is how important it is. We are going to a point where anybody who has been in the industry for a while, I would love to have your input base, just because it's so important to see the different ways it is used and how you nurture it just right to get to where you are trying to get to. So the goal becomes every single day to capture a certain amount of number of people to put into your database. How do you do that? I hope all of you are carrying business cards still. I know it's old school. I know so many people have switched to the digital. It's still allows you an opportunity to hand somebody something and then ask for something back, which means to be able to hand a card over, say, this is what I do, what do you do? And focus on that part. Focus on that part more than anything else. What do you do? How opportunity for us to help each other in the long run. I would love to have that opportunity. If things are not spoken, that opportunity is just never there. Part of the reason that databases don't us, you have to get out of your own way. It's something that I talk with my team all day long. When you are in a team situation with 10 different personalities, it's very fair to say that in this room right now, there's about 15 different personalities in this room. And there is no right or wrong personality. It's just what's your comfort? What are you able to do? And I will tell you that the biggest success is going to come when you decide to get out of your comfort level, become uncomfortable, and do this to grow that database, to touch that database. That's going to be huge. So building your database. Those of you that have been in there just a year, there was probably a handful of you, maybe 4 or 5 of you, to build the database, to add names. What are you guys doing? Carly, what are you doing to build your database?
Health clubs, spin classes, talking to people every chance I can. My very first deal was the guy who stocked shelves at my grocery store because I was just in there every day because I'm a bad meal planner. But
They are. Everybody needs to live somewhere. Everybody.
yeah.
Doesn't matter where you are. So Carly, traveling the U.S. and doing classes on this, people feel like they just need to working groups or 3 PTA type of organizations so that they can get to know people. People are traveling through the U.S. and talking about data building. You do it best when you are surrounded by things that you're passionate about. So whether that's golf, whether that's reading, whether that's shopping. I mean, we had an opportunity to meet somebody at KW, and shopping was her thing. Like I couldn't believe it. Around based on group of moms that live in the neighborhood, and we just go shop together. Put all our babies in the stroller together, and we just go shop together. And she said, on an average, she was seeing 8 to 9 deals, referrals, And she never did it for that reason. She did it to be connected to something she loves, and it was perfect, right? It's no different than the people you use for your lives, for different areas. So engaging in areas that you are already comfortable, that is your child's school, whether it's sports, whether it's your own sports, whether it's, a million hobbies that are out there right now, whatever that is, does that group know what you do? You obviously have connections already before starting this industry. Do those connections know what you are doing right now? And what is a subtle way, or an aggressive way, or the right way to introduce yourself to that group? What is the right way? That's going to be based on your personality a little bit more than anything else, right? Is it postcards? Is it note cards? For me, it's text. My campaigns are done on text message. My biggest revenue builder is my text message. It gives me back more than that. It's just something I'm comfortable with. Matter of fact, now on an anniversary basis, they expect it. Like if they don't hear from me. But text is the easiest way. We are all inundated because we are all on how many different people that are new. Woo, wait till a year or 2 years go by. And you start to get around and you start to attend all of these classes and these seminars, and then wait till you see how many people's database you belong. 2 weeks going through all of my emails and unsubscribing to so many, just because it becomes overwhelming for you're going to not become that person also, right? How do you not become the person that they are trying to unsubscribe because you are so heavily, I applaud it, right? It's their personality. It works for them. It's wonderful. Company, they do a lot of training here. They are an amazing team to look at, to watch, to see their growth. We do that. We love to get happy about other individuals who are growth pace. We love to see what they're doing, whether it's social media, combination of text message, combination of email. Just imagine. So they're doing something right. The message they're sending is right. They're going to close something like 800, 900 transactions this year. Something is going on that's working. We might think from sitting from the outside looking in, like that's crazy. People would hate you if you touch base with them that much every month. People would not. No, they have a system. They developed a system. The first month starts off with something like 20, 21 touches, and then it drops to 15, and then it drops to 12, and then it hits a point where every single month these folks are getting at least news. They have a system. That's the biggest thing. A lot of us have goals. They're wonderful up here, but it's hope. There's no action item behind it. Until it becomes an action item. Early on, I just kept everything here. I kept a lot of the database going here. Did not realize somewhere to capture. How would I have known that Heather has given me 46, there are 46 leads connected to Heather in one way, or tracking every bit of it? How can I stand here today and tell you exactly how many closings we've had for the year, exactly the team has brought in, exactly what my expenditure is, exactly what my ratios are, if those things were not being last year? And I say to you, what was last year? And you say, well, I did good. No, what was good? What does good mean? Does it mean 5 transactions? Does it mean 9 transactions? Does it mean 10 transactions? Program? Anything connected to journaling. What's the most successful business growth program? Journaling. Anything connected to keeping stats, looking at stats, knowing what's working, and knowing it's huge. Otherwise, what are you doing year after year? You're repeating all the mistakes that led you to finish point, and you'll never get out of that finish point overall. So in your book, and that's basically exactly what we're talking about, the daily 10-4. Them into a database that you can actually take notes on. As you grow this database is not going to stay 10 people, 50 people, 200 people strong. This database is going to be in the hundreds and possible thousands one day. And when you put notifications in your database, you talked to Susie Q this morning, and Susie says, call me in 4 months. I've got an 8-month lease still. Call me I'm gonna need a home, but I'm 8 months away. But if you call me in 4 months, I'll be 4 months away, and then maybe we can talk at that time. What are you going to do? You're going to set it in your database, okay? If you don't set that 60-70% chance, or even higher, that you're not going to remember that Susie Q needs the call. Thank you. That Susie Q needs a phone call in the period. You're not going to remember that. The beauty of the database is that when you are entering this client in, you're able to say, spoke with 10 a.m. in the morning, Susie has 2 pets, one of her pets been really sick. Susie has 3 kiddos, these are the age of her kiddos. They are to Gilbert, they prefer Southeast Gilbert because of the schools, they prefer not to be in North Gilbert, have not worked out for their kids in that area. Her lease is up in this apartment building on this date. Like, why are all of these deeds in 4 months when you pick up the phone and say, hey Susie, this is Shivani, we talked 4 months ago, we're not well. On that personal level. And there's nothing you can do that's more important than listen to a person. Learn to dictate everything that they are saying. The biggest success that we have seen is when an agent is taking a call and they are literally typing every bit of that conversation with that person. It's such an easy connection to make. That person appreciates it so much that you remembered those little details about what is going on in their life. Where you become of what their need is. You're constantly looking. What I see our agents do all the time is because of the note 2 months, even though they told Susie, we're not going to contact you for 4 months, they're able to shoot a quick text. There's a brand new community opening up over here. I know you said you wanted to wait till July to do this, but this community actually, they need 6 months to build the house. If this is of interest to you, let me know and grab a lot right as it's opening. You know, it's a great thing for your equity. It's a great thing to come in at the lowest amount. On my phone, if I was to pull up, just say the name Steve. If I was looking for Steve, my phone literally says, Steve met at Greenfield. Steve, you can not only put a company name, but phones have notes now in them. You literally can note that baby up. And by tomorrow. It's not even a joke. My grandson is 22 months old, 23 months old, and he literally phones his toy phone and talks into his phone the same way as I am dictating into mine. I mean, it's hilarious. It's done that way, and your note keeping is at its optimum. So learn to do that. Your database will only be stronger. You're going to end up know where anyone came from if you are not making those notes for yourself. Year 1, by year 4, by year 5, you're drowning in names and you have no idea who these people are. And you have not taken the on those categories. Those are huge. Organization starts from day 1, not when I get to 100 names, when I get to 2. You will be that much stronger for it. Another way to increase our database is obviously asking for referrals. It does not happen these days. We just closed on a client. Within a week after the closing, we had a client appreciation, and as I went around and met with a lot of our clients one-on-one, I left every single client with the exact same thing. And we're so grateful you're here, but think of us next time you talk to someone and they are looking to make a purchase. There's no greater compliment you can give our team than that. And literally the next week, the names started to come in. I just wanted you to be aware. I gave them your name and number. If you don't ask, it is an automatic no. If you ask, and then I send a handwritten note card to thank them for being at the event and end it social media tag, and next week to say thank you once again and say thank you for the continued, it becomes priority on their mind. People who do great work for me, so busy. My painters, I keep them so busy. The roof company I work with, I keep them so busy. Why do I do that? They take great care. And they remind me regularly, Shivani, continue your referral business with us. We're going to continue. Great service, great prices. This is the way of doing business. It really is. So if you're not asking, you've got to increase how many referrals and how many people you are putting in your database. Now, there was a time where I would say, oh my goodness, thank you for sharing John's information for me. I will look to hear from John. I say that so easily because I used that line for a very, very, very long time. Then I realized chances are John is never going to be until I reach out to him and just say something. And so now it's fantastic. The minute I got off the phone with one of my past clients, I jumped on the text message and I said, hey Melissa, Shivani Dallas, broker with Keller Williams, would love to have an opportunity to meet with you. I know that your possible listing is 5 to 6 months away, but if we meet now, the house can be ready to go so we can get top dollar for it. Let me know when you have time. So I'm meeting Melissa on Friday. She said, yes, there's no way we can list right now. We are probably 6 months away. Chances are, once Melissa sees that February is such a big listings here, how many people start to make the move, once she sees our year-over-year stats, she's not gonna wait till April. Chances are she is gonna list and try to get the best opportunity till I get in front of her. I can't get in front of her until I ask her and tell her the importance of getting in front of her. I can't be shy because this is what I do. This is what I do. I can't be shy and wait for me because chances are Melissa would not have called me for 5-6 months. And chances are she would have been on Zillow 55 times from then until now, and somebody would have offered her something else. One of the final settlement statement came, and there was a lot of hodgepodge going on that settlement. She said, Shivani, can you step in and help me with the settlement statement? We've got a relocation company that has to be paid. I want to make sure we have not done something wrong with the credits and this and that. And I said, yeah, absolutely. We'll go through it together. Why is the buyer's agent earning $4,000, $550,000 transaction? Like, when did we do this? Like, thinking that tell me we did not offer somebody 0.75 to close a deal. Like, we don't ever do our listings that way. And she says, no, we offered the full buyer's agent, and he told these clients that 2.2 of my commission will be credited towards your closing costs if you use me. Guess what? He never walked in the door. The clients came to 2 of our open houses and saw the house. He simply wrote the offer from Phoenix, let them in, and met with them alone. The agent never made it to the house. The day of closing, the agent called to see which one of our team members could let his clients in.
Oh,
We had established a relationship with that client through the entire month.
yeah.
Katie and my team did. They know more about Katie and her family than did that. Here's what we know. We know that their friends who are moving here from Michigan, we got that. We know how it's gonna go down. We know they are our next referral. We could talk all day. He works a full-time job. He still walked away with $4,000 for doing nothing, right? But we know where the value changed our mindset about a lot of things. You're going to meet a lot of part-time agents in this industry. You're going to meet a lot of spectrum from different companies. Either spend time talking about how horrible they were, or we can spend time on ourselves and bring ourselves to the par that we want to see our industry at. And so he had no idea that stuff was even offered. Who she talks to can say to her, list with me, I'll give you this much back. I'm just going to come throw a sign outside, walk through your home, do a few cell phone, photos. I just showed in Scottsdale 2 weeks ago. I cannot tell you how many $900,000 houses are being photographed with a cell phone. It happens and that poor seller can't understand why people are not walking in their door, because we've become such a visual society, right? Your has to be cleaned up, presented perfectly with a bow on top, drone photos and da-da-da this and da-da-da that to get the buyer, the consumer, to show interest these days. It's not walking in the door. You got to sell them. 90% of the sale is done right on the. Make a note about that. Insist on the one-on-one. Find a way people that are going into your database. That one-on-one is huge. That's your tomorrow with them. They're going to talk whether they love you or not. They're going to talk to other people. And the people we remember the most and the people we're most likely to use again are learn your scripts. For my newbies, learn your scripts. In the business 20-something years, how many times have you seen that script change? With the market change, your script changes. And when I say learn your scripts, memorize your scripts. We all work very differently. You listen to Carly answer the phone, it's going to be day and night phone. Laura answering the phone, it's going to be answering the phone. Our scripts, our way of talking, our way of conducting business is a personality thing. When we first took on our Zillow and our Sync platform, we met with our Sync representative, and Sync is town. We met with our Commissions Inc. representative, and the whole reason for the meeting was he wanted to know, why are we capturing such a high level of leads? Like, why is our commission so high? And I said, I don't know, no idea. I'm brand new to this. Like, I just started my team. We just started doing this in February. Oh, I had no idea we were on the high side, or what you consider to be the high side. So at that end, and listen, so when you guys are making phone calls, I'd love to hear what that sounds like. You know, and who did you get trained by? And I said, well, here's what we did. We went into several different teams while they were doing their phone call. We just realized that that's not who we were. And we weren't, we might be sales technically, but we weren't coming from that talk. So we would sit down and we would spend a half hour, 45 minutes. We would script with each other. We'd, okay, and somebody would answer the phone and, this is what I'm looking for. And we'd be obnoxious and we'd be imagined running into, because you wanted to practice rebuttals. You wanted to practice not breaking down. And you're like, why am I letting myself do this? What am I doing? Yes, it's so hard. So you guys are on Kenny Claus's team. Lead gen, lead gen, lead gen. You're going to embrace that by making that conversation about the way you live your life, about the way you do business. And we decided was, we're coming from a place of contribution. This is just how we work. We were moms, and everybody's got kids, from grown-ups to little itty bitties, and how do we incorporate what we say? And we found dialogues that worked for us. We found dialogues that we got a bigger response from, and we started to make our own script books. That's what we did. Down to where we would engage with people and, just searching. And I can't believe I'm just searching, and 3 different people have already reached out to me in the last 15 minutes. And I have nothing to say to you. Again, I'm just searching. And I would listen to Katie go, well, okay, I totally understand information gathering stage, which is really the most important stage before you start making some decisions. What information are you not getting? I'm not asking you to step out with me today and look for a home. I'm calling from the website that your home's on. I just want to make sure that your search is at its optimum. We offer 2 different kind of searches. The one that you are putting together on our website. One is the one that I can put together for you, MLS. You're not going to see old listings. You're not going to see it's a possible listing. You're going to see exactly the right status for that listing. Would you like something more accurate coming to you? Again, this is automated. I won't be calling you every time you open, be doing all of that unless you'd like me to. I can't tell you how quick the turnaround was alone. I would love that. You know what I'm getting upset about? Every time I click on a home and then I talk to an agent about that home, you know what they tell me? It's not available. It sold a year ago. I don't know why Zillow still has it up. So what we realized is that it wasn't that we wouldn't take no for our people who are very angry about getting the call, and a no is a no to them, and we're the first ones to either, we're okay with that. But that individual who is gathering information, my agents to be able to say, I was there, I was in your shoes just a year ago when I was looking, and I know how frustrated you are. I know you're getting homes that are under contract, and I know that and you're not finding what you're looking for. So this was the way to get that person put into the database, to listen to them, to talk to them. Our ISA, internal sales agent, she'd return phone calls from the leads that were coming in. They were 30 to 45 minutes long, and we loved that attachment. Like, we loved hearing that connection. How are you able to contact somebody, catch them on the phone, and have this huge conversation, and then she would leave these 4 or 5 paragraphs for the team member to read, whoever it was. Like, this is this person's life, and this is what's going on with their work, and this is what's going on with. So it's absolutely doable. Like, for you guys who are just doing it brand new, it is a concept that is not easily grasped. But if you can look at it from a different standpoint of view, we have agents who get busy with work and cannot call their date and call 5 days later, 6 days later, just to find out that they engaged with somebody. That client is already in the car with somebody. That client is already writing a contract with somebody else. That's a huge wake-up call. Could have been me. I had their name. I had their number. I just didn't do the first one to make the right engagement. So I challenge you guys of different teams and their script practicing. I challenge you to do that. Your voice. Find where am I coming from that makes sense to me, because you are going to naturally that have your likes, that talk like you, like think like you, it's a very normal thing in our society. That's what our little groups of friends are made up of. There are things in common in your life, and that's so go out and seek it. That's what we did. We literally went out and we went to every type of training you could imagine. KW, huge resource. Wait, there is a possibility that we will never get to the screen. So if at any time somebody really needs, let me know. I'll get to the page you want to be at. Real life application, there's nothing better to education. So at any point, if there's something that's missing, let me know and we'll do it. So how Zillow offers free script training. You don't have to be course guides, and you can pull all of that up. Truly a script training area. Sync has a script training area, and I don't believe you have to be a member. One of the biggest resources is MyKW. Go on to your MyKW, and you will not believe how much YouTube is out there for script practicing. Find what you connect with. It's only gonna take you seconds to listen to somebody talk and say, not me, not me. Oh my God, totally me. I love this. Find the ideas that you are looking for. And then talk to people who've already done it this point to this point. I think it's texting. And I said, so when I got there, we are selling this to you at cost to them. Matter of fact, I said, how can you possibly say you are selling your cars at cost? You're sitting. Everybody knows that there's room to negotiate everything. This price point is just not going to work for me. Tell me, what is the best you can do for me? I have to purchase a car in the next 24 hours. And he said, what did you not read about the text I just sent?
Whoa.
So I hit delete. We got rid of that entire situation. Got rid of that. I engaged a brand new internet conversation with somebody right there as I was sitting. And the minute I engaged, my phone rang. And I said, this is our guy. This is who we're going to buy our car from. And he's like, right. Got him on the phone. Hey, Brad, how's it going? Good. You're looking for a car? I'm looking for a car. What are you looking for? My son wants the Honda Civic. He wants the hatchback with the 4 doors. He wants something super cute, so make sure it's super cute. I said, and then let's start talking numbers. He goes, okay, you got it now. I kid you not. In exactly 10, 11 minutes, we knew exactly which car he from this price point. They knew I was not budging from this down payment, and this was all his 24 hours and sign the contract. I can walk in the hours and sign the contract if you assure me 2 things. I'm going to get to meet with you, sit down with you, look at the car. I get to test drive the car I want. The price is still not good enough. This is what I'm looking for, what I first put out. Let me know what you, if you're going to come in and sign for sure, we will honor the price you guys are looking for. Let's do it. My silly, I didn't even think these people would ever get on the phone. He goes, because of what I went through in the last, they love the hugs and the contact and the kiss as much as the 30-year-old, the 40-year-old, the 80-year-old. It does not matter. It is somebody because of their age or what they're doing. Yes, they are higher technology. Technology might be the only thing that they know from the time they grow up to where they are today. But don't oust them for that. If I'm not mistaken, our numbers show that we are probably at 15 or 16% this year went to millennials. So you can't even say that they're not buying. They're totally buying. You just have to show them that their dollar will grow this much if they invested in a house versus, and what they're doing now. So that's all it is. But who fell in love with this house online, who fell in love with this, it just goes to show tomorrow, and it showed me as an agent, what would we have to do, what changes would we have to make to anything else. How do you take the folks in real estate for over 10 years, really quick, who are they? 2? Okay. What's the database you're using to manage? LionDesk, okay, perfect. So LionDesk has that great feature. They integrate media part of it. They integrate a lot of it, right? You're able to see what the folks are doing on a social level as well as connects them through all of it, right? Yep. So that's an awesome one. You're going to just hear that there are so many. By the way, I don't think there's a single system in the last 14 years I can say is a horrible system to the effective matter. It's you. We can all write checks for these systems, but we don't use them. We don't that system great. So make sure the research goes behind it before you take on a system like that. So on Lion Desk, what do you find? How long have you used it?
About a year and a half.
Top producer to be very overwhelming. Like, even though I had such a big database, it didn't matter. It had so many. It is outdated. Well, I think they are integrating more now. I think they've started doing what Lion Desk is doing. Like, if you're a solo agent and you think this year you might close 20 deals, get what you need. Don't shoot for something that's going to manage 3,000 contacts when you don't need that, when you don't need to be paid. So on Lion Desk, you're able to do the reminders. You're able to do the note keeping. Are you able to text from it as well?
Yep.
Okay. So that's also another feature that you want in your CRM. Texting is huge. One of my biggest campaigns that brings us referrals regularly is text list. So every single month, I take an anniversary list from my database. That sometimes 150 homes, names, sometimes 50, just depending. But what it'll say is, so-and-so bought this month, so-and-so bought their home 5 years ago, so-and-so bought their home 3 years ago. My during that month is that everybody on that list must get text message from me. So in the evening, I just put together text messages. At 8 a.m. in the morning, I shoot them all off. For me, it's routine. It's like it's my business tomorrow. It's my business for my referrals. It's a way to contact them and touch base with them. And let me tell you how smart your phone is. Talk about that artificial intelligence, that AI. When you better believe that on social media that day, all of a sudden those people's lives are the first stories that come up. Like, isn't that incredible? Meaning, I haven't talked to that person in 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, but because I texted with them, Facebook all of a sudden has them coming to my page first that next morning. All of a sudden is showing me those 15, 20, 30 people. So for you, your life just got a little bit easier. Not only did you just text them to say, hey, you've been in your home, just wanted to touch base with you, what's going on, what's new, any interest in trying to look at the equity that you may have in your home, kids must be out now. And yes, you do hit an anniversary every now and then. You get news of possible separation, you get news of, you knew my mom, I recently lost my mom, you hear all of it, but that's engagement, that's relationship, that's getting to know somebody to that date. That text message campaign, there's nothing, I can't do it by the day because my schedule doesn't allow it.
Yeah, so just month, grab the
So-
people that close it, okay.
So if November 1st, I get a list of 88 people, I know I have 30 days to get through 88 touches for those people.
Okay.
And sometimes it's, I manage portfolios for investors. So sometimes it's one investor's name with he came in and bought that same month, right? Like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's not always 88 touches to make that day. But what has become very easy, it hardly takes me 45 minutes to an hour in the evening to literally knock off 20, 30 text messages in the evening and just save them all as drafts. And then in the morning at 8 a.m., just shoot them all off at the same time. And through the day, just take my time answering them. Learned how to do it right. If by any chance, it's very rare I'm in the car now with buyers, but if I have a buyer day, I will never release those text messages that morning. Just because I don't want them, I just don't want their responses sitting all day long and I don't get back to them till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Of care, I want to be able to get back to them sooner. I also am a believer, like in your voicemails, because there are people that you will text and they will pick up the phone to thank you. It's just genuine, right? It's in their nature, and I want to be answering the phone when they do call and they reach out. I do want an equity statement on that. What is the market like? There are a lot of people who want. I know that. You go to the grocery store, people talking about real estate. You go get your nails done, people are talking about real estate. The lady would just not stop. She was like, and then can you believe that they showed me this home that had it? And I've told them 5 times I don't want to do this. I just finalized on a deal with her. You should talk to her team. And she goes, it's my sister-in-law. I can't fire her. and I said, take stuck in the middle of the transaction and you just need another side. I don't want your business. I'm not shooting for your business. But call me if there's something I can do to help. You become a point of value for somebody. You'd be surprised how many people you can provide value to and not attach. But when they really think of something serious and they think of real estate, they'll think of you for just knowing and for doing. So that are more up and coming that do connect you to the social media. There was a time for a very long time, all you heard was, don't allow your database into your social life. This is not a business about selling homes. Anybody who's been doing it for 29 years and 26 years, business has nothing to do with selling homes. This is a relationship business. You cannot build this is what's going on in your personal life. This is what's going on in their personal life. It brings more joy together more than anything else. Nobody wants to get together to say, oh my God, isn't the weather beautiful? We all need more. We need more than that, and we want to give more than that. And that's the only way to do it, you know. Members on my team that do a Facebook campaign every single morning. They hop on Facebook for 30 to 45 minutes. They time it because they don't want to get lost in it. It's easy to do that in anything you do these days. And they take the time to respond and to acknowledge almost everybody that they can in their timeline. And they do that just for the sake of the business. They do that because they're getting ready to release a video that night. They're getting ready to release a video the next morning. Do you know that the day that you engage with everybody, it's almost 100% possibility that what you post in the next 3, 4, 5 hours, they will all get to see that. It's a two-way street. Engagement on social media is not I'm going to keep posting and people are going to keep liking. It is literally a two-way street. The more you engage with them, the more you acknowledge them, the more they will see what's going on. And here's what I love, love, love about that text message campaign we do. Responding to anything real estate, the biggest responses I get back is social life. You know, hey, I read you lost your father just a few months ago. I'm so sorry. I hope you got my condolences. I sent them, a few months ago. Hey, I'm so excited about your new granddaughter. I just love seeing her pictures. Keep posting. Hey, I love. In everybody else's mind, it's the same thing. There are 50 million other things that are so much more important than real estate. We acknowledge those. We acknowledge those because at the end of the day, it is that relationship that you're building. You want to be their trusted advisor. The point where you become a trusted advisor to where I have a client who called not too long ago and she goes, hey, we found a stray cat and we knew what we should do. So I had it on speaker in my office and I could see my and Tiffany looking at me, over her shoulder, and I said, holy shit, what am I going to do with a cat? I don't even like cats. Like, was a dog. Hit the mute button again, and in my database, past client who did cat rescues. Let me contact Alice. Let me find out who can do the cat rescue, and let me see how fast I can get you connected. She's like, you know what? We can count on you for anything. I just knew you were going to know where to send us to. Perfect. I got off on the phone. I'm like, where's that checklist? I need to check this off. Help stray cat today. Is what?
Crazy cat lady.
Yes. So, and I did call my crazy cat lady. Somebody has a stray cat. I would like you to know that she stopped her entire day to go help this lady who found the cat. Like, and to those people to be connected, right? And I'm sitting here going, what am I supposed to do with her cat? Like, I don't know when I became mayor of cats, So it's the fact that you respond. It's the fact that you touch. I actually do care that when you're looking for a painter, I get you a good painter. When you're looking for a good babysitter with themselves, I genuinely do care about those things. So it's a very natural thing. And I know people, they're also busy. They're doing what they love. They're using their own passions to make their own connection. Meet somebody and you see their business card and you're like, oh my gosh, why did they take a picture with 3 dogs? Because they love their dogs. And the chances are everybody that they're helping loves their dogs too. And is okay with that picture. We're a very judgmental society because we are so, pictures all day long and you see things all day long and you just don't realize that, again, get out of your own way and just be so accepting to what is going on. 10 years ago, I sat with this lady. She was, still is, an agent with RE/MAX. She was such a high producer. I cannot tell you. Her to be shut all the time because she cursed so much that the front desk was like, first thing, our clients come in and all we hear is F-bombs and this and that. I'm like, how do you even get clients? She did. She'd walk out of there, she'd hop on her Harley and go home. Like, it was her picture on her business card on her Harley. Like, it doesn't matter. I think that first year I met her, and mind you, this is downfall. So this is, I'm in the short sale business and REO business. And that year she probably on her own with her admins behind her, she probably closed 40, 130 on her own. And she had three. And so you think, no, this is the only way. If I don't dress up like this, if I don't, gosh, Fred and the guys in the sandals all day long, flip-flops, Fred and I can't think of his. No, not Flintstone, but Fred Flintstone was also in sandals. You're right. I forget what they are. They're
6'10", Fred and Seth, I know who you're talking about.
yes.
Yes,
46 ever going to meet. Everything formal I have ever attended with them, flip-flop and shorts. You'll be lucky if they change their shirt from yesterday. They could care less. Doesn't matter to them. Their clients don't care. Nobody cares. 500 to 600 transactions a year after year. We do it all day long. We call it our replicate, our duplicate, and our steal all day long. I saw this great thing. I'm going to take it. I'm going to tweak it to what works for our team, and we're going to implement. Trying to sit in the office alone, creating the wheel, recreating the wheel, perfecting that wheel more and more. Someone's already done it. You know, go out there and seek and see what they're doing and then implement what works for you. It's very difficult to walk into anybody's business and say, I love everything you're doing and I'm going to take it. It's just impossible. But you can make it partly your own and you can make it, you know, partly of what you just learned from them. I have people who run Bible studies. They are firm by it. They do, and they get more business from it than you can imagine. I have people who are soccer moms and they live by it. One of my team members, her son is in the, I'm going to probably screw this up because I don't know enough about baseball to talk about it. AAA team, right? AAA team, like right before you go to them.
AAA.
Am I right? All right. So I know, I'm like AAA towing or AAA team. It is AAA. It's exciting to watch all of our boys go through. You know, some of us started off together in junior high, and our boy, one is, you know, being drafted by the Mariners, and one is being drafted by this team, and one's off to Chicago for this type of training. A source of referrals for you. This conversation happened about 10 months ago, 8 months ago. I'll never bring business into this. But you're not. Like, do you know what they do? And she goes, yeah, so-and-so works here, and so-and-so's home, and so-and-so. And I'm like, so you know what everybody does, but no. And I said, okay, that's your challenge for the next 30 days. You need to be on social media, and you need to be talking about what you do. I want you to work hard on getting reviews. You have to get on the phone. I want you to ask them for reviews. She's like, I wouldn't even know where to start. I said, it's so simple. I'm going to draw up a template for you. The last year, you're going to ask for reviews. By the way, that's my challenge to you. If you've closed on somebody and you have a review, you need to draw up a template. There's nothing easier. You don't have to be a Zillow to get a review on Zillow. You don't. So it's absolutely free. Go to your page on Zillow. If you are part of a large team, they have a team page already. If ever a time comes and you leave your team, you get to leave with your reviews. Day one. Because even if you are a solo agent one day, those reviews stay with you. They stay with the team and they stay with you. It's a great, great thing. But learn to do that. Why? Because people are checking you out. You're doing business. They're checking you out. They want to know, who is this person? It's so easy to do that these days, right? Now, but sell yourself on, not just your own individual numbers, which also really helps. So anyways, that was my challenge to her. My challenge was, this is what I want you to do. I need you to stop being the secret agent. When you're out sitting with them and they're talking about what they're doing, I want you to talk about your business. And I want you to talk about what you're doing. And if the conversation ever comes up, and if you guys can help me support my business, I want you to be able to say that too. And I get where you're coming from. Some of us feel like we are imposing if we say stuff like that. You might be your referrals, I want your referrals, but if it's a part of a conversation and it's very delicate, so let's fast forward about 3.5, 4 months, and she goes, you won't believe it. I started to do those videos. I had all these about that I had met over the last few years because of my son started with me about the videos. And guess what they said over and over again? I just bought a house there a year ago. We had no idea you did real estate. She goes, after counting $180,000 worth of commission loss, I realized how stupid was I for never putting that out there. I want to say that today she probably has about possibly 6 triangles that are all using her without her ever saying, use me. Just knowing. Use. When somebody does post a review, you add it to your social media. Or when somebody does say something kind to you, you do talk about it in a video. If you need ideas, you guys need to be following this little hot mama in the corner here, Carly. Her videos are she does Tuesday tips.
Yeah.
Tuesday. And every Tuesday she hops on and just gives a very quick synopsis of closing. When you're closing a transaction, what needs to be lined up and what you need to know about. Remember, we do this, but when a client is doing it for the first time, and I watched my son doing it for the first time, utilities, and why has nobody told me what to, I said, you should be texting that to your agent, not your mom. I can tell you what has to be done, but this is a really good time to text them. Ask us something, and we would say our client should never be asking us this. Your client, if they're asking you, when do I change you till know you failed? I want you to know you did not prepare them for the next steps. Leave one part of the transaction, we send an email to them that says what's next. Get them prepared for the next thing. You've got home inspection is coming to an end, they're going to send us a written request. We will have 5 days to respond to that. I want you to focus on that because that is our next step. And if they do step up and ask what happens at closing, you can give them a quick what happens at closing, but remind them we have so many steps before we get there. Let's talk about that when we get closer. Always be one step ahead of the thought process and always keep them prepared. They will love you for it. We need that. If you're going into a medical procedure, you're going into a surgery, do you not appreciate to get you ready? Just a reminder, don't take this medicine, that medicine, this medicine. Make sure you fast on this day. Make sure you stop eating or drinking at this time. Every one of us needs the proper steps to be walked through all of that. So just be full about that and be the first one to deliver the news, and don't be the one that is being asked for. How do you simplify your database and your systems so that you're able to actually use them and use them? My answer to that is you put them into your daily goals. I know yearly goals. And as you do this business longer, you're going to realize that you might have to go to quarterly goals and then go to monthly goals, possibly go to weekly goals. But even though I do a weekly goal, my day is set up. Every day items have to be done. 3 hours of prospecting is done every single day. 45 minutes I talked about of getting all my text messages ready at night, that's part of it. Get back to them to see where they are in their journey, how close are we, did the painter come and get that part done, did the cleaners prospecting, that's all part of my tomorrow, my business that's coming in. My referrals, hitting my database, my acknowledging the people that need to be touched this week, it's all part of prospecting. When I say 3 hours of prospecting a day, I don't mean you close your door at 9 a.m. and you cannot come out for 3 hours till you go through 500 names. If you can do that, you are going to be amazing. Most of us cannot do that. It's really tolling on you to do that. Most of us can give about an hour, hour and a half to phone calling, and then we're at our max, and you need to know that too. Yourself to do something that goes against every grain of who you are, you're not going to last. You got to just find a way that you can adapt to, makes it nicer. So how do we take a database and how do we break it down to where it is generable? They've given some ideas of how to tag them: marital status, how many kids they have, what their life situation is, hear from, what is their long-term goal for that house. That is a super question, and that is a super important question to notate and I had an alert that came up for me for one of the gentlemen whose portfolio I take care of. So I contacted him. It is November already. It was 3 months ago, and I contacted him and I said, hey, I was going through my notes and I saw that the first 4 or 5 that we purchased almost 4 years ago, the goal was 4 to 5 years. Where are you on that? Is your goal still accurate? What I'd like to do is I'd like to get you an equity statement for all 4 or 5 homes, send them over to you, so you can deliberate and tell me, will we go another 3 years and keep renters in place? So we did the equity statements. There were 2 homes, the value doubled, literally doubled from the time we bought those homes, just 4.5, 5 years ago on the west side. The others that have doubled, I think let's get rid of those. Find me 2 or 3 more ground, because we've learned that with our investors, when we grab them at the time that the community's been, and we sell some of them off in literally 2 to 3 years, not only do they collect such a high rent because it's a newer product, but they really walk away with a really nice chunk of equity in just the first 3-4 years, and they dump that into another 10-30-minute exchange and buy something else. So yes.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So he said, oh my God, like the equity is tremendous in that. So within the last 3 months, we have sold those and already put in homes that are being built, that are going to be completed in probably the next 3-4 months have happened. But more important, if I did not have a goal statement down in my notes, if I did not notate that in 4 to 5 years and actually put dates, like between this date and this date, he needs to reconsider selling or holding or whatever he wants to do, that might go to somebody else. No, here's what I fear. I fear that I had a conversation with somebody. I told them in a timely manner about it. I fear me not doing so. That's what I fear. I fear him not getting that more important than anything else. Yes, you're gonna ask.
I just wanted to get clarification about the equity statement. Is it the statement of value of his homes, or
It
do you
is.
plug the debt in
It
from
is.
somewhere? Or?
It is. We stopped calling it market analysis. We stopped calling it equity position right now, right?
Yeah.
Just about every home you see, there's hardly anything I'm seeing right now that we are break even. So majority of our stuff has more people that respond to that question than anything else right now. So even door knocking, we just sold your neighbor's home, not even 2 streets away, what they were at in their home. Would you like an equity statement for yours?
And that's up to them to provide the debt and to themselves.
Anyway, I have people who will never tell you the mortgage, what they owe on it. Now, our monsoon system is pretty savvy. See what they still owe on the house at the bottom. If you don't know how to use that to its fullest, I totally recommend an armless class to learn how to use just the monsoon, because it shows you when deeds were recorded and when they refinanced, and it shows you all of it. You have an idea as to where they are in all of this, but for the most of it, you have to build your script up so that you can say to them, to get you the most accurate numbers, I will need the interest rate on your current balance and your current loan balance. And then what that will help you do is when you plug that in something, it might have an additional $1,000, $2,000 added to it because of the interest. So if you know the interest rate, yeah, you got it. So at that time. Length of time that you have spent in the homes that you have owned in the past. Why you would ask that? We're just trying to develop what is their pattern. What is this family's pattern? Even in Arizona, it's very rare you meet somebody that is a native of Arizona or has spent their entire life here. So it's always years, or these people love to do that. These people have never moved in 25 years. Chances are there's type of pets, things like that. Getting permission from people if you can connect with them on social media. Probably not the first connection. It's not something you have to ask most. Within a week, within 2 weeks of doing business with them, we love it that they are part of our current closings as we ramp up for theirs. We love it. We leave. Oh my gosh, you just landed a contract for somebody. That person looks so excited. Matter of asking, right? Feeding your classifying, we somewhat went over that already. When you start to tag people, in my database, I have a very extensive list of tags, and tags are I have people that are categorized under my attorneys refer business to me. Your own tags will, and you have enough information next to my database till about him. And so she's the one we're not going to buy for 5 to 6 years. Like, do you even see that happening? She goes, it's going to be 5 to 6 years in the blink of an eye. You don't understand. Like, this is our industry. Well, only somebody who could have been in there said something to me, you know, that was so important. I mean, I will forever for her to say that this is such a large part of your business that you fast forward and you hit 2011, 2010, I started to send emails out that were, story of a client with you guys, if this can help anybody that you know, out to me. So I got out to Eastmark. Eastmark was just opening at that time. It was like 7 years ago, 6 years ago, breaking. And I met with 3-4 builders, and I said, I've got a really large database of closed till they hit the anniversary date. Because you had an anniversary date, right? You did a short sale in 2008. You could not open a brand new loan a month. You had to put in your time, as they called it. Some people had a 4-year time period, some had a 3-year. A bunch of builders who said, Willbrook was not great in 2010. And it was not fantastic. It was just starting to ramp back a little bit more traffic. That one email probably brought in 14 new build contracts, literally in the first 30 days. Those people went out and told several people what they had done, brought in even a bigger abundance of contracts. Now the new builds were chasing us, saying, how are you doing this? Like, part of this. We want to now put a plan together for all of these, what we call boomerang buyers. They were people who lost their homes to a foreclosure, bankruptcy sale, in the downturn, and we wanted to be there for them. So important, because we were able to categorize, this is a VA. This person only needs to technically, and they can buy already. Let's do a really big, large VA campaign. This is so-and-so. These people did FHA. They cannot buy for 5 years. They were our longest wait period. These were conventionals that did short sales. They were our 3-year period. So we were able to break it down according to those tags. That is how important those tags are. When you tag a database, what it allows, you can hit VA buyers and all 800 VA buyers will come up. That's how easy it makes it. I don't mean sit down and like read through everyone. VA buyer. The system does it for you if you learn to tag your system. I know has the capability of doing that. You just have to go through the training and learn how to do it on yours. Okay, so just learn to tag, classifying your database. Why is it so important? Because it keeps it from becoming, that's why it is so important. Do you guys want a break? I think I've been talking hour. You guys want a quick break? Yeah? Should we do 5-10 minutes, something like that? All right, let's go on break and then we'll continue. And if you guys have any particular areas of the database you would like me to touch on, let me know and I'll make sure we incorporate that. Hi, I'm good.
Question for you.
Yes.
I'm gonna scoot it in there because
Yes.
it's one of those pressing things. Slate Creek went active this morning. Jerry and Janet have contract capacity. We went and did the home inspection yesterday with Greg, and the only thing that's kind of a deal breaker for them, and I said we can get a plumber to inspect and do a plumbing inspection, is that when the hot water system goes on, whether you're running the water downstairs, the pressure drops. And then if you're upstairs, the pressure drops and you have faster power and
Yeah.
faucet going
So it
off.
just needs a regulator.
Regulator.
Yeah.
Simple. Okay.
Yes.
But now,
Keep in mind.
right,
Okay.
right. So I told him we can work through this. You know, it's something
Yeah.
that like their inspection was super rewrapped.
Okay.
You know, I mean, simple
But
things
everything
that
you can
I
ask
think-
for,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like the
And it's a
simple-
traditional deal,
Yeah.
traditional transaction?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then Dara texted me. I'm like, well, they're gonna see it come active. She's gonna see it on Trulia. They're gonna ask me about it, and I need to let them know
Mhm.
it's gone active. So I said, Slate Creek is active today,
Mhm.
and this is they listed it. The bedroom that they like. It's got capacity because it's an 8,200 square foot lot, and at Slate Creek it's 62, so it has an extra square feet on the backyard, which they love.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have a pool. The bedroom.
Right.
And they're already like in the remodel stages of what they're gonna do with capacity. So I'm just like,
I think that matters to you is that they buy the house that they love.
Yes.
So if Slate Creek is enough of a upgrade for them, they can choose on it. while they're still under contract,
Okay.
as long as
You're
they
right,
cancel
right.
10
At the
days.
end of 10 days. And you know, I told Jerry, I said, I've never been in this situation before. It's a darn timing thing. Like, and I said, let me talk to my broker.
Yep.
Let me ask him how
Yep.
this can work. So
Absolutely.
we're gonna go back and look at it tomorrow morning.
Okay.
You know, your earnest money is protected as long as we're within the 10-day inspection period. But
Right.
we'll hold off on delivering the bins.
Exactly.
Are you having an allergy?
I'm not, but I'm just like, you're
Right,
right
allergic to
though.
me.
Maybe I am.
I
Maybe
want-
my nose a little bit, my eyes,
Eyes
maybe
are
it
little,
is,
yeah,
yeah.
glassy and
Yeah.
stuff. You know, sometimes it's just anything that we.
I know.
Hey, Matt walked in here, and then you got
Allergic to IT people.
So yeah, I mean.
You do
I'm
have
gonna
that, it's perfect timing.
Okay.
Yeah, Greg and them just did that.
Oh.
And the house of their dreams came back on the market and they,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, granted, now they lose inspection money on the one house. Oh, and so it's an as-is. So Slate Creek is as-is, and the seller, it already has the island, the kitchen,
Right.
versus them. That other one has a tiny little rinky-dinky. I have to take it out and put
Uh-huh.
a bigger one and redo
Okay.
the entire kitchen, and they were gonna have to frame out. They were gonna do
A lot.
I mean, a lot, you know,
Yeah.
to it. So.
Yeah. Where are you in inspections? How much time do you have?
Oh, well, we just, let me see, we went into contract on Sunday,
Okay.
day 3.
Okay. So I would just tell him that we literally have 5-6 days.
The hot water, because the cold water, there's no issue with the
The
pressure.
regulator goes outside on the main plumbing, so it regulates the entire house.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, and it definitely is a plumbing issue, though.
Right.
Something that we need to get a plumber in there to
Right.
do.
Right.
So, yeah, and then
Right.
I was telling him, you know, too, we'd rather ask for a credit
Yeah.
for repairs versus having to get a quote on what it's gonna cost to do
Cost.
the plumbing stuff. And
Okay.
that's really it.
Okay.
I
Wow.
mean, plumbing, that
The
little bit
roofing.
with plumbing and tiles on the roof.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Greg to send that inspection report. But
Good,
yeah, I was like,
good.
darn timing.
I know, but no, the timing is actually good. It's too, because if it happened on day 8 of inspections,
Oh, yeah,
to get them out,
Yeah.
it's so hard.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a bank to sign off. The reason I'm saying is you want to start today is the bank process isn't that fast. It's going to take them 5-6 days to sign off on your offer,
Yeah.
if they accept it.
Yeah, and I asked her, I said, is it going to be run as a traditional sale now, or are they going to open the...
Okay.
So it'll be treated...
Perfect.
Traditionally. And
Perfect.
So, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so what happens to Sting in Seville on
Okay.
Saturday? She wants me to use her signs. Is that
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
think it'd be a deal breaker,
I
but you know what
know.
I'm saying? Just like...
It's
oh,
fine.
Yeah.
A-okay.
It's already Sting, and you know, we want to put our signs on.
Right,
I
right.
figure, well, you know what, if the books decide to go off one of those signs, then yeah, it goes to their number.
Right.
So if they decide to put the house, then that's an opportunity for us to,
Huge.
to gather.
Huge.
Okay, cool.
Right, right. With our
I know. I told Tiff yesterday.
gold has really thrown me off, like with scheduling.
That, yeah, that's right, because Mary and Connie are.
Yeah, so I'm like trying to
It's okay.
schedule around. Yeah,
Really good.
true, true.
Record it. All I asked Matt just to make sure that they're gonna, because I want to capture that information.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll text you the address for that
I think probably.
Are they gonna give you like tax on it or
Get started again?
What is the CRM that you use?
I use Commissions Inc.
I want to write it down. Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
What is it called?
Commissions Inc.
Is that what you used before you came to California?
I'm running, but with all the lead gen that we do now, we have to get a little bit more high tech with that. So Commissions Inc. It's just like Boomtown.
Okay.
Huh?
We're going to transition now into campaigns, and it is why you would, because that is then what we do with it. Our campaigns are all dependent on our databases. In order to have people that you are going to run it with. And you don't have to have a database. You can do a door knocking campaign where you are adding people to your database. You can do a flyers and with a certain group or a certain meeting. Learn to classify your action items under campaigns so that you can track for yourselves what is and what is not. You don't want to finish out a year and then say, and then remember I tried that one thing with that one group. If you always want to know, I spent $25 on this Facebook ad. That campaign brought me 10 people engaged with. Out of that engagement, 2 people are talking to me and probably will buy a home in the next 6 months. That is how to be. Otherwise, more money is going out than what is staying in, and you don't know what has worked and you don't know what has worked. So, super important. It's so easy for us discipline to be successful. You know what? It takes the same amount of discipline to fail year after year too, because you just keep doing the same one. You have to say to yourself, hey self, this is not working. I need to redo the best way to redo what you're doing is to read what you just did this year. It's technology. You won't believe that sometimes the most expensive campaigns will bring you nothing. And sometimes just the tiny meetings that you have with people, the one-on-ones that you have with clients who refer you, how incredible that can be. I know people who have lunch campaigns, meaning it's a week for lunch, they invite a past client. Everybody's got to eat, and they have no problem adding this past client who is a good source of referral or a good source of connections, and at least 2 times a week they are eating with a potential with wherever that engagement is. It's just being very purposeful.
Do you do that?
For lunch, I don't, but I do with my A database. I do a lot of, hey, we're all meeting at this place in Scottsdale, tasting, and we'll bring in the appetizers. We'll send all the invites out, as many people as can show up for the next 2 hours. They'll mingle with us, they'll talk to us. Everybody leaves with a bottle of wine that they love. Gives us a few minutes of personal time with them.
How often do you do those things?
Now we're gonna go to our closing. The amount of homes we're closing have gone up, and we don't want to wait 6 months and invite 150 people. We'd rather just do 20, 30. We've just learned that it's the smaller the group is, the more intimate it is, the more one-on-one we get.
Before you had your team, how often did you do that?
Oh my gosh, so my client appreciations were definitely more based on holidays. Pies, I would do come and meet me and come grab the pies. I will tell you that for 12 years when I was a solo agent, 8 years, that for 8 consecutive years, I was closing between $15 and $16 million a year, and that is suicidal. Utter stupidity. I should have never allowed that to run my life the way I left. So I had no time to do client appreciations. I had no time for my own children. It was so bad. My son said the worst career anybody could have was a real estate agent, and I was like, oh my gosh. And he said, that's because they love their clients more than they love their family. And he finished turning the knife a little bit, repoke it in a few new areas. And I said, Nick, huge opportunity that you know, I am gonna be able to imagine, like, you guys are gonna finish college and you're not gonna have debt. You guys, the minute the phone rings, it's like the most important thing. And I realized, like, as a agent, I had 3, but I was still the face of every client. And that's a lot of transactions when our median price, the volume you had to do to hit 16 million, right? So, yeah, we make those sacrifices, we build, you know, if I was to go back today, I have 0 regrets about doing any of that stuff. It's the way I did. All I've learned of it. They were so happy to come in and mingle with us and spend a little bit of time with us and have helped, and you know, and we laughed about a lot of things. I was like, so many of you have bought your forever home from us every year. And that was such a true statement. And all of a sudden that became the topic of, oh my God, I just built this house, and she spent 8 months helping us pick out all this stuff for this home, and we were like, we are never moving. Until a year later, where we were like, we saw this new lot, you know, that. So all I'm saying is that it's great to have that like-minded atmosphere, you know. So gratitude has become a really big part of my goal setting, and that client appreciation is 100% gratitude. It is to be grateful and to know that because I'm so grateful, this is what we're gonna do, this is what I'm gonna do. By the way, not just for client appreciation. As a team, boxes together, and as a team, we've served at shelters, and as a team, we've done. So that gratitude is really spread out. It's just, you know, we were part of our KW Red Day, and we were, you have to be. There has to be a bigger why as to why we're doing all of this. So goals with your business goals, that's huge. And then add those events to it. Add them early enough. Find the easiest way to do them. If you think you're going to close 20 families to walk in the door, do a baseball game ticket day, do a, you know, spring training is something. There's so many ideas. Just put it out there and ask people, what are you doing? Grasps you. We had, maybe with, you know, we really don't drink. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so missing out. But keep it in mind for the next one. Like, you have to make it fun. You can't, you know, but you have to make it fun for the, you know, I'm going to totally keep you in mind for the next, I mean, religious, very large community that we serve that they don't drink at all. So our closing baskets for them are totally different than our other baskets. There's nothing wrong with that. We know what you like. We like. Bigger thing is we respect what you like and what you don't like. So create events that we can integrate them in that are not going to be that way. We've got an event coming up in a couple of months, and it's movies. So
Do you do a closing basket for every client?
every client. Absolutely.
What's the price that you spend usually?
It is, so we have a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna guess that the dollar amount in each basket for the pre-printed material is somewhere between $15 and $20. And the basket itself is about $80, so roughly $100. Even some of the wines that they put in my basket, they'll put our team advertising on it because it's 100% write-off. So we're not limited to only writing off $25 per basket. We have off a really large chunk of that basket because we do have our advertising a lot of stuff. So it's learning the laws, and if that's the law that you have, then we're gonna follow. Okay, so again, this is part of your system. I am a stickler on systems. I need a system for everything that you do. So as people were walking in, they were like, oh my God, that back wall, are those all of your baskets? Like, is that, and they were all personalized. It was our next batch that was getting ready to be delivered to our office. And because they were all familiar with them, you know, unless they don't drink, and then we got a special basket made for them. But important to be careful. You have to get yourself onto that system. It must be done that way. Checklist every single thing. By the way, there's a system for pre-list. There's a system for list. There's a system for after it's under contract. The system, everybody on the team has different, during the transaction, my admins are carrying the bigger roles of what has to be done. Towards the end of the transaction, the agent is heavier involved. After the transaction, it's 100% on the agent. Get the review, the basket delivered, get their paperwork delivered. So all of that stuff is part of making sure that, you know, the care is there. And you can't remember, cannot. And once you're doing multiple transactions, you can't remember what you've done for that person and what you haven't. Super important. So now we're going to talk a little bit about touch campaigns and what works, what doesn't work. I'm going to tell you that the list that they've provided for you, your 8x8s, the touch in a year, these things are getting easier and easier to do. These numbers have not changed for ages. Like, this is something Gary Keller put together very, very long time ago, before we were easily able to touch base with people on social media, but to do email, text mail campaigns, things like that. There were, for a long time, people did just, they would drop off items of value, or they, I'm not saying that that does not work. Everything works if you do it consistently and if you keep track of it. But it's do something. What doesn't work is when you just keep thinking about what you're going to do next and you don't do it. That goal setting, habitually have a very hard time doing certain things. So on the day that is your campaign day, you're going to resist. What else? I'd rather be washing dishes. But I don't think I want to work on my campaign right now. She's like, yeah, I really feel that. You know, I'd rather find a cliff to jump off of than to call that list, right, Laura? We all have those. Right. We all have goals that, like, for some reason, once we start doing it, it's not hard. Matter of fact, it's once we start doing it, but for some reason, like just getting started to do it, for some reason, is hard. If it becomes systematic, and if it is a Thursday thing, and you know it's difficult, I'm going to tell you that you probably need to add 11 workouts. It's daily. Like, it's daily. I start my day the same way. I have to. I just realized that if I don't, that whole day is off. So, and you know, they're for me personally, it is for that day. Find your it. Find whatever it is that because it's about setting mindset, right? It's about the mindset, the right mindset, so that I can do this. We have a lot of teams within our brokerages that do script training before they jump calls. Why do you think they do that? It's mindset. They want you to be in that rhythm for 20, 30 minutes. It's like a football team. And mentally they're getting charged, and they explode and they hit the team. Yours is the exact same way. You gotta get in the rhythm. I have team members who can lock the door in their own home, go to work, kill a list for 2 hours, out and feel so productive. I have team members that cannot do anything in their own home. Must be in the office. Then I have team members that must be in the office and sitting with somebody to take those calls. We're all very different. There is no right or wrong. But the wrong is if you're not doing it. You're not doing anything productive, and you got to get productive for tomorrow. Finding the right campaigns is different than what we just talked about, finding what works for you and what does not work. Campaigns can come in many ways, and they can range much in dollars. On my personal production level, other than our lead purchase that we do through Zillow and other than those two things, there's very little that we are spending on. There's campaigns, meaning we do circle prospecting where we get lists of, neighborhoods. The message we're sending is that our team closed 15 listings this month very successfully, and we would love to provide you with an equity they were sitting on. We get to engage with people. We get to counter open door head with them. Why not? Actually, it's my favorite thing to do. The minute I know you've talked to Zillow Open Door, 99% chance I'm getting that listing. I'm going to land that listing. Matter of fact, I'm going to walk in with a Zillow offer and an Open Door offer in my hand, and then I'm going to show you what I can bring you. They're not going to pay $20,000 for convenience. Most people. The only time I see that happening are estate sales. Somebody's passed with any of it. It's really money they never really had anyways, right? It's being inherited. They have no problem. Check. I'm not going to fix it up. I'm not going to do anything to the property. I can't. Those are really the only times we're seeing it, and then we lose that listing to somebody. But otherwise, if it's traditional, I'm going to show that we're going to put into your home, and you're going to walk away with more money. Yes?
What if a relocation company is involved? Would they be able to allow Open Door or not?
No. Any of them that we're working with, Cardis and WHR are the two biggest relos we work with right now, and they don't those quick companies to come in. Relocation companies are a little bit more. I have a home that listed for a State Farm relo just a few months ago, and they said no to the first 3 offers, which were at asking price $320, because it was contingent. Do you realize 70% of our transactions in my office right now are contingent? Everybody is buying to downsize or whatever the situation might be. Relo is off the charts right now into Arizona. Homes that they're selling in another state. So they were so sorry, our company does not engage with contingent. Drop the price 5, drop the price 10. We are all the way down to 300,000. I get 2 more offers in, and I said, hey, do you want to reconsider your contingency policy? Because at this point, you've lost 20 grand. Companies take a little bit longer to engage. The minute the shift happens in transactions, you know, overall, you talk to any title company, any lender, applications that are being opened, they're gauging it at 30 to 40% slowdown. So if they're to that, the people who will get hurt the first are going to be the larger companies that are acquisitioning all of this home, because now they're on a ton of equity, a ton of inventory, and not able to really negotiate right now. So this is the time that don't be afraid of anybody else with those. As an agent, you can hop onto Zillow and get a client to offer in like less than 24 hours. And put into the portal at Open Door and at OfferPad. You can put in for an offer. Deals with Open Door, where we walked into a home and the home was so bad, and it had foundational issues that had to be corrected and had tile issues, and the client just cannot do this. And by referring that seller to Open Door, what they negotiate between themselves is what they negotiate, but they paid us a referral fee for that. So Open Door is that open right now to work. They know we are the ones who bring them the buyers, and now they know that we will even bring them certain listings that might be out of our reach. Why would a listing be out of our reach? Some listings just need way too much work, and your client does not have the money to front it. And we get it, that's life. So, you know, pick and choose what you can do, what you cannot do, but know that you have a partner now that you can refer them to and make a little bit of money off of it. So keep that in mind. 8x8 touches and 33 touches in a year. Let's just talk about touches. How are you guys touching your clients? No one's doing anything to touch your clients?
Texting, emailing.
I also flip homes and I work in Everton and work in there. So
Okay. Which community?
Sun Lakes.
Okay.
So we've been working in there for the last 5 years, and so now my clients and the database that I have, and even the people in the community know me, not as a flipper.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to start doing Meet the Contractor. I'm going to have a Meet the Contractor event.
Awesome.
They need people to fix their homes, but
Yep.
but they also know that we vetted them, and
Right.
and they don't need to do any of that work.
Awesome.
So.
That's huge. That's huge.
And then I'm a resource, not just as an agent, but my value add is that I know how to remodel homes. I know how to consult them on renovations and
Right.
can help manage their project for them.
Right. That's huge, because what you can also help them do is keep them from overspending in a neighborhood that they will never see the money come back. They might have the funds to do all that, but they don't have the know-how to know that I need to stop at 20,000 or I need to stop at 15,000. You know, they can keep.
Companies that take advantage of the elderly.
Absolutely.
And I hate that, and so.
Yep. So
That's
it's
my
you become
passion.
passionate about something you love, and here's something you've done, and you are building a fantastic reputation for yourself. Truly, that gets you more on their mind than anything else. So gives you an opportunity to touch them maybe 4 or 5 times just because of one event, if that makes any sense. The invite, the phone call to try and confirm who's personally when you are at the event, and after the event you have an opportunity for 2 touches. You know, a thank you card, a thank you email, or a thank you, or a $5 gift card, Starbucks, enjoy this on me, time to come out, whatever it might be. Every time you are at an event or do an event for somebody, you should be able to get 4 to 5 touches. When you see something like 33 touches in a year, oh my God, that just sounds so overwhelming. Can you shut that door behind you? Don't put it on your database, on your plan, on your business plan, and 5 months go by, 6 months go by, and then it's overwhelming. But it's not overwhelming. If you start right now and do a 12 month out, and you say, this month I'm gonna touch 3 times, and this month I'm gonna touch, even when you're doing the Facebook tagging in the morning, you've touched them. I mean, you don't realize that it's going on back and forth, but just do something. Don't do nothing. That's the biggest thing you need to walk away with today. For those of you who just started doing your day,
do you think it's important to touch them different ways, like not just like all the time?
right? I do. I personally do. We do 2 forms of social. Facebook and Instagram are our social media platforms. We do mass texts through Sync. We do mass text messages through MailChimp. So those now, some of them are holiday, some of them are Veterans Day, a story about something on helping a local veteran through KW for Red Day, so that became a little bit part of what we did. So EDDMs is everyday direct mail, so that is where if we sell a home on this street, then we addresses for the 800, 900 homes around it, which fall into the mail route. We get that many flyers printed up, and they all go to those addresses, showing this home, top dollar, in less than a week, whatever the situation might be. We've learned that with our EDDMs, testimony works the best on getting, and how we managed 2 transactions to get them from one home to another without housing. You'd be surprised how many people out there right now want to move. The biggest fear is, what about the in-between period? Closed on Friday, so we did simultaneous closings. Their closing was in the morning and their purchase was, and so I sent the first text and I said, record time, it's 9:30 in the morning, we just closed on your home. Congratulations, I'll keep you posted on, and he said, well, I'm checking this one off the bucket list, we are officially homeless for the next few hours. And then he wrote back and he said, I want you to know we're so grateful that we're homeless only for 4 or 5 hours getting this move. And the one thing nobody else could convince us was that they could manage the one house to temporary housing. He had 3 dogs and 4 kids, and his wife. Give us 1 month, 2 months. We can't even say to a family member, hey, I'm moving in for 5 weeks till I find a house to buy. Like, we are in such a bad predicament. So when you're balancing those kind of things, you be the storyteller of what their situation was, and then end it with a testimony from him. I basically just said, I'm going to use your text messaging we're doing. Fantastic, go for it. So literally copy paste it right into the next EDDM we're doing, that this was their response, that, this, because we knew you could get the job done without temporary housing. That's a huge fear in everybody's mind. Have you moved recently? Has anybody here literally bought and sold recently in the last year, 2 years? You really learn what it's about, right? Like, how stressful is that? You don't realize, but you don't know. So it's a great thing to go through but it's a very stressful process, and there's a lot of balancing that goes. If you actually take the time to fill out those campaign charts, you'll realize them well over 33 times a year. You'll realize that. You just at this time don't realize how much you're doing it because you may not be tracking it. You may be tracking it and you may know your numbers, but if you're new, you'd be surprised that how easy it is to do that and know what's going on. They talk a lot about spreadsheets, and those are things that we have somewhat gotten away with, and it has more to do with technology than anything else. But basically, the reason they talk so much about spreadsheets is they want you to, and that can be done on any CRM, on any dashboard, on this page, and it'll chart the whole entire engagement for the last year, which will really tell you, did I do anything, did I not do anything, and what could I have done better? By the way, our agents who regularly, a question I see them ask all the time is, what could I have, we stopped communication, and I am so happy that you are now under contract and you're about to close on a home, but just for my own good, I'd love to know, what could I have done differently? And the number 1 answer we hear is that person just called me to see if I was getting the right homes, if I was reaching. Because what do? We get a client, we're so excited, we're on the phone, we're taking on the lab, now they're set up on a search on Sync, now we have them set up on a search on MLS, and you feel like my work is done. When they're ready to see something, they will call me. That's not happening. It's just not happening. That client, statistics are telling us that that client is getting 13 to 15 emails a day from different agents.
Wow.
How are they gonna know? So we have a client who we met with. Actually, I was doing my one-on-one with one of my team members, and my team member said to me, she goes, the funniest thing happened to me yesterday, and I'm dying to tell you about it, because I just think people these days that are searching for homes on the internet, they're so confused with the data they're getting, they don't even know who it's coming from. So she said, I set up a showing with me a message and said, hey, I've been on your database for almost 3 months, and we finally made our move. We're now renting, and we only rented for 2 months. We are in executive housing for 2 months. So we have to lock something in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and we have to be closed the week after. So here are the 3 homes I want to see. So she said, perfect. So she wrote them down, and she started to do the scheduling for the showings. She then hits her sync database that evening, likes to call in the afternoon, the late afternoon, more than she prefers to call in the morning. So this lady pops back up on her sync line, right, to call her. She calls her and she goes, hey, just touching base with you really quick. And the lady goes, before you go on any further, I just want you to know I've already engaged with another agent, and I already know who I'm going to be. So you can go ahead and take me off the database. You can go ahead and do all of that, but I already know this one agent was with me. She didn't realize it's Mary she had already engaged with. And it's Mary who's calling her back, because Mary was sending her stuff from sync, and she was getting team blasts from, like, there's so much out there. And Mary goes, by any chance are you meeting her today to see homes? She goes, yeah. She goes, I work off of this platform and I work off of this platform. She goes, oh my gosh, you're doing a fantastic job. She goes, I didn't realize that. She goes, so I was texting you? She goes, you were texting me, and we're already scheduled. She goes, but you were on my step calling back, and I just wanted to touch base, make sure you were getting the search you needed. This is how inundated the consumer is. I have no idea that they are engaging with 15, 20, so many different people. What about the companies that my engagement and with sync is very different? I pay for leads, meaning my leads are not diluted, okay? So when I call a Zillow lead back, they know they reached out to me. Does that make sense? A lead gen system where they put their information in and 18 agents call them, because that company just sold you to 15 companies or 18 companies, right? It's a different system. But imagine that client do that as well. So they are putting their name in when, 15 people are now calling them, or 15 different team members from one team are calling them, trying to get them to talk. They're tired. They're exhausted. I mean, they want to find something that's ready to. A lot of note taking. That's how you do it. Becoming a master of your database. That's exactly what it's about. If your database is not organized, if your database is not categorized, your database is going to slow. And before you know it, you have 300 names that mean nothing to you. Because anything that's not in, it means nothing to you. It means nothing to you at all. I found the most with people I knew. That's why I say go back through your social media profiles and start to make a list of people you know, enough to add them to your drip systems. Go back through your emails. Because I didn't realize the amount of referrals I could get from my cousins in California. I didn't realize how much referral business my cousins in Chicago and in Atlanta could send me. I had no idea that I grew up in the Bay Area. I had no idea how faithful and loyal they would be to me every time they knew somebody was moving to Arizona. I think this year I was a part of 5. I got to get the referral from the Bay Area sale. Nothing sold under 1.0 out there. So I was a part of that referral, and then they bought from my team when they made it here. That all person I know is in our database. And we openly say this, if you're looking to move, you don't know anybody in the area, allow us to interview the top agents for you. That line is simple. That line is so simple. By the way, we do get on the phone and we do interview them. We do agents if we need to. We do make sure that they answer their phones. We do make sure we have a really good dialogue. I get interviewed all the time by other agents. A good 20 minutes on the phone. He was not going to connect me to his agents until I knew what I was talking about. So offer that service to them and be a part of, wow, that's all business. That's a campaign in itself. That referral business is a campaign in itself. My EDD media is a campaign. Every single thing is categorized as a campaign. Okay? The videos that my team is now doing for Facebook, I hear them at the end tell all the time now. They say this. Share this video with who you know is looking. Tell them to come to our open house. If you are not that direct, it's not going to happen. You'd be surprised how many people, because they write, share, or because they say, share me on this video, check out the shares at the bottom. Look at what's happening. You'd be surprised how many people are like, okay. But because you haven't asked, they're not doing it. They read it, I'm fine, I'm comfortable in my home, I don't need this. The goal is not to get the person. The goal is the message that you're sending might relate to somebody they know. And then track it. Track it so you can do it again. Putting it all together at the end. You have a database. Now you've categorized your database. Now you're doing good note keeping in your database. Now you are setting alarmations in your database so that you know when to interact with them again. Now you are plugging the database into campaigns. Now the campaigns have started working and you're tracking them. How do you put it all together? Putting it all together is tracking what is converting from how you're going to put it all together. These 500 people were involved in a campaign. This campaign brought forth 20 engagements. What's an engagement? You text with somebody, you spoke with somebody, you physically personally met with somebody. Whatever that level of engagement is, track it. Tracking that and then watching it to conversion. That it took me hitting 500 people to convert 2 deals. It cost $75 plus 5 hours to hit this income level. All of those things work. We are an analytical business. To grow your business, to scale your business, to become bigger one day, you have to know what all of your spend is. You have to know how that converts. You have to know what is working. We are very generous, and what I mean by that is the minute somebody sends you somebody, we drop 2 movie tickets, we drop something dollars in the mail or by email to them right away. Thank you for referring our name to someone. Ask for referrals in the sense of, if someone is thinking about selling, tell them to use us. Our for that is please ask them to add us to our list, to their list of interviews. Interview for the job as well. Tell them to consider us. We want a seat at the table. That's what we want. Once on that level, when we close, we usually send out a couple of $100 so that they can have a really nice dinner. We send it out to a Dominic's. We use them regularly.
To the referral client?
To the referral after closing. Because it means soak with us all the time. Because of you, I fine dine all the time. I'm thinking you fine dine because of us all the time in this year. It's tremendous. To pay $1,000 to a $50,000 revenue, there's no amount of money people are spending on internet platforms to engage with just a few people. Nothing better than that. Is anybody here using a different referral system that I would like to hear about? Are you using something that works that you really like for your referral clients? Are you guys using anything on your team that you can think of for referral clients?
They are using a MailChimp campaign put out to like 40,000 other agents across the country. And
Awesome.
They're getting those from Zillow. They're getting email addresses from Zillow.
Okay.
Could be
Yeah. There's no limits to that.
Yeah.
People or clients are sending you. Are you using something different than just gift cards or dinners
I know, on November 20th, we're having a pie party.
Okay.
And so everybody gets to take their own pie home.
Okay. Come by, shake a hand.
I've only been with the Valley Group for a week now, so.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm all interrogating you.
That's okay.
And then what else are you guys doing with that? And then what
I
works?
have no idea what the
He's like the pressure.
I invite my referral people to only in season now because I'm Sun Lakes community, but when the snowbirds come back, I invite my repeat clients to a monthly happy hour, and I ask them. So it's a friend who hasn't been with us before, and we do a TED Talk.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And we do it on like things that I'm interested in, like investment planning or
Right. Switching it up.
Yep. And then I partner with a title company and a lender, and they both speak, but then we split the cost of which is awesome, so it doesn't cost
Yep.
me much money.
Yep, that's a great idea. And I bet that's also a great idea for the event you're gonna have for the flipping.
Yeah.
Because actors can carry some of the costs,
Yes,
even if they just
absolutely.
walk in with some food, or even if, even if they just do all that, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah, it helps with the budget.
Right, right. And at the end of the day, it goes, yes, your earning might be very significant, but our expenditure in this business is also very significant. People look at it as, oh my goodness, you're closing all these deals, you must be making
Right.
this. Yeah, they're there, but the spend is also there.
Yeah.
The fees are also there attached to it. The splits are also there attached to it. So keeping all of that in mind, that hacking and doing stuff together with a group of people, it's a great way to do it. And the newer you are in this business, the sooner you can start to build your own personal group of referrals. Like, best thing I could have done. Connecting with those attorneys, connecting with the financial advisors, connecting with some contractors. Please say, I can't wait to send you business. Keep me in mind when you know somebody that wants to also buy or sell. Best way to do it. So, very important. How about you guys? Are you doing anything? You've done this long enough. Like, do you do anything special, referral business?
Or just thank you.
Just thank yous? Okay, awesome. I've seen Groupons.
I want to, so this is
You
great.
want to use Groupons, and I think that's a great idea because you can buy, you can
Yep.
buy $100 massages for 30. Well, we do more e-cards than you can ever imagine, and most of it is because not just out of state. Like, I just closed one up in Litchfield Park. I mean, it's not being lazy, but I feel like I'm going to East LA. So easier for me to spoil you with an e-card of something in your area is for me to try to coordinate a basket, this and that. Their loan docs were just so delayed, and so they mean I couldn't be there. It was so fast, and so those are things when we're out of system, when we got pulled out of our system a little bit. Bunch of e-cards, and he's going to celebrate on his part of town. So, but we don't not do super important too. And if I have to get a runner to take that basket and pay that, like, I'll do it all day long. The care is huge. The care, gotta go above and beyond. You are team, is that what you told me in the beginning? You are just doing business, you're very new?
Partners at West USA.
Okay,
I'm brand new.
okay.
Yes.
And brand new, you've started doing some transactions? Okay, good, awesome. Be like us, 2 years into it. I think the first time when my admin said, I want you to create a database, I want you to have something to fall back on, this too is going to end, right? She was absolutely right. The short sales did come to an end. Traditional market, that database saved us. That database was our transition to traditional business. By the way, maybe 4 or 5 weeks in between regular work, getting the database up and running the last 3 years and put everybody in and engage everybody in. So to try and catch up in 3 years or in 4 years, it's ridiculous. You've missed a bunch of clients. Do it now. Start right now. Like, today is the day you start in categories so that you can keep it all together. Before I go to the very part of the end, we start talking about our ahas, and we start talking about what changes will you personally make in your database to bring fruition. What is fruition to your database? Transactions. Simple. Let me go to that. Is there any area that I've talked about that I can talk a little bit more in detail or answer any more questions for you that are specific? Yes.
How do you categorize your A, B's, and C's?
So my C's are everybody I know. Everybody. That is the person, even my agents.
And is that how you categorize them in your CRM?
Mhm.
So they're all different.
That is database A, database B, and database C.
Okay.
Tags are different. Put in, so I can go into my database and I can pull up all of my A's. Or I can go into my system and I can say I want database only my VA buyers. A tag is a VA buyer, or a VA seller, or a conventional, or a investor, or a tags are so many. For Ignite, for the database, it gives you a really big list of the kind of tags for that. And if you don't find that at the end of this class, I'll just throw a bunch out to you that okay? But a tag is what will help you. You know how we talked about the mom whose son is trying to go into Major League Baseball? So her tag for that clientele was Major League, right? So say you've got a kiddo in dance. Your dance group, that's a tag. Or a tag. But my ABC category is by how they have sold me or how I know them. It is that admin who taught me to put every single person in my C database, including agents. And I will tell you what a big help that was. You would think, why do I need to market to an agent? Why do I need to do that? Well, first of all, I've learned that business you do and the bigger connection you can do with masterminding with other great agents, the more we feed off each other, the more we learn. At the end of the competition, I'm my competition, right? The better I do, the better I'm gonna be. Second lesson learned, the agents they were a part of it. And one of the rules with short sales, so I would say a very large part of my business was doing short sales for agents in our industry. And now, if at some point they unsubscribe, that's okay. Like, there's never that C database only gets hit maybe 6 times out of the entire year, and it has more to do with holiday. I don't inundate them. I don't do anything like that. The B database is everybody who has made a purchase from me. A database is my largest group of referrers and my multiple buyer sellers. So they've done multiple transactions and they refer the most business to you. That's huge. And then you are just building. So when you're building your database and you sell to a nurse, okay? Instead of doing the basket, instead of doing the thank you basket, consider brownies with all of your business cards and a big thank you on them, and ask her if you can drop it off somewhere at work. Ask them if you can leave it, because I wasn't doing personal like baskets, this and that. I was trying to, can I be a part of your your housewarming party? Can I bring food for that? And I would leave my cards and food, Shivani Dallas PC, and I would leave all of that because you were trying to engage with more buyers and sellers. It was a different focus at the time. Organic growth is still the best growth, by far. Because 10 people, great, was she good? Was it good service? Like, those things matter. So find different ways of engagement to connect with those people, especially when you're starting off, because you really don't have a lot to spend. You really don't know where to spend it. All right, so I'd love to go over ahas and what do you see yourself?
Like, if you're looking in such and such state, let me interview the top agents in that area for you. My whole sphere is up there. Why the heck not? Am I, doing more?
Of all of your Vancouver connections, you can literally start to move them over and has a certain category.
Perfect.
That way your message to them can be something Canada to Phoenix, from snow to sunshine.
Yeah.
Like right now, that's what's going on. We don't shovel sunshine in Arizona. Like whatever that message might be, but you can categorize, it can be just for the Canadians. I mean, it's a beautiful message.
Yeah.
Right. And then keep a track of their market, keep a track of their dollars. They're very dollar and cents when it comes to Canada. So when we engage with our investors from out of country, we really keep track of that so we can mention things right now, and our investors from there are finding piece to invest here because of that. When the Canadian dollar was not doing so well, we actually advertised it. You know what? I cannot tell you how many Canadians sold at that time. It was a benefit to them. They made money on the US dollar at the time, and then they went back and bought in areas that they could never buy in before. The dollar had fallen. So you were a part of that heartbeat, That just means you have to be reading a lot all the time. Aha, give me an aha. What are you going to integrate into your
Going to events and sitting down afterward and actually taking note of how much and tracking what's actually working.
Awesome, great. Try to make that habit of when
More notes,
met
the
them,
better.
more notes the better. Met them at this event and talked about whatever it might be. But it'll be Paul, and it will literally say, Paul from da-da-da open house, and if I push one more button, surprised how shocked they are when you answer the phone and you're like, hey Paul, what's going on? What? Like,
Difference.
Aha.
I would say mine is a combo of what they both just said, because I'm not from out of the country, but a different state.
Awesome.
You know, where I need to generate a lot of business.
Absolutely.
Lived in Pittsburgh and in New York City, so just,
Oh,
you know,
wow.
all of those. And also, like you said, the notes and, keeping the detail and organized, because I want to know who I'm talking to, who I need to connect with. But I wanted to ask you about, after you close with somebody, how often do you talk to that reasonable amount to connect with them after you're closed?
At least twice in the next business plan with them.
Okay.
So regardless, they will get a phone call from me just as you're going. My notes are very, very specific. One of our clients had just right away, he closed hardly 2 weeks ago. So I actually had him in my phone this morning to touch base and say, you know, hey, how are those contractors working out for you that I sent over to you? Where are you? And this morning he inundated me with all these pictures. Like, I loved it, you know?
Right.
So I was like, you know, hey Brian, just wanna check up on you. Are the floors tiled? Are the walls? Exact response was, I love you. I feel like you're always thinking about me. And then I got like 10 pictures done so far. So those type of things, by the way, the genius part of it is that I did it with the phone dings and says, call Brian, check up on remodel.
Right.
Right? So depending on what it is,
Okay.
all right? And then
Okay.
you do the follow-up. That's
Okay.
needed to do that.
Okay.
But those are huge. Easily 2 times after they've just purchased a home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and just one more question
Yes.
also, like I have a client that wants to refer family to me that is moving out here, like what is a nice way of asking for their info? Cause I don't know, I don't wanna be too pushy, like she said her nephew's moving out here, she gave him all my information, but like I don't know their number, their name, you know, anything
Yep.
like that, and I don't wanna
So
like,
what did you say so far?
just that I'm cool and awesome, can't wait to hear from them.
Okay, all right. So has a week gone by? Where are you with time?
It was last week that we last communicated about it.
Okay.
And she's just said their name, you know.
Okay.
And that was it.
So I would just send a quick, hey, just a quick reminder, I have not heard from them. I would look at them and get them all of my company information, my contact information.
Okay.
Possibly even set them up on a soft search. Soft search, 2 different things.
Okay.
Soft search, you had a quick conversation with them, and they're like thinking $200,000 to $300,000. I'm gonna open up all the $200,000 to $300,000 in the East Valley.
Right.
I just am, soft search.
Okay.
All right?
Mhm.
And as you get stuff, we're going to break it down and make it more detailed as
Okay.
we are further in this. So I want to offer a value to the nephew, therefore you need his contact information on,
Okay.
so that I can start him on a soft search.
Okay.
That way they can start getting an idea of what we have available here.
Okay.
Great, in 2 seconds after that. You know,
Right.
I prefer not to share their information. They'll reach out when they're good, because that's a huge connection. Much for doing that. If they connected me to somebody through the email, I make sure both of them get the thank you, you know. You should know that so-and-so is in great hands. And then I send a second email to that person directly and say, can we connect on a phone conference? Would 5 o'clock today work for you? Would 12 p.m. tomorrow work for you? What is your... By the way, when I ask for time on the phone, I give you 2, 3 options, and then I don't leave it open-ended, like, hey, let's connect. No, never gonna happen. That's the case we're in. There's gotta be a, does this time work, does that time work, or how about these 2 times, you know? Yes,
And when you're prospecting, there's several hours a day that you guys do. or
Yes.
whatever. Phone calls and Facebook engagement, do you, so like a time frame for Facebook and a time frame for phone calls, or?
and everybody does their own thing, meaning you don't do it as a team every morning, 8:30 to 10:30. I've got a very large, diverse group in my group, and we've, you know, I want them personal likings and their personal schedule, so it's huge. We have people that have afternoon, early evening. We have people who call around 7 o'clock. We have people who hit the phones first thing in the morning at 8 a.m. I don't care when you do it, but your goal every day is to put in the goal. I have found 3 hours is super important, but I'm enough. I did not prospect for that whole 2 weeks. And crap, I have no closings that 2 weeks right there. Like, you don't want the valleys. You want, you know, just a very balanced business. And that's the only way to do it. You balance your business by balancing your over and over and over again. Yeah.
And just to add,
Yes.
just to add to that too for newer agents, I spread mine out depending on what I'm doing in the day, right? Like if I'm on Facebook and people are on Facebook after dinner more, I'm doing my calls at a different time. So when it's spread out, it's super manageable, even though it's like, oh my gosh, 3 hours every day for 5 days.
Yeah.
But like when you spread it out and integrate it with your life, it's That's what I found.
How much time does it take for you to do one of your videos, like to put it
An
together?
hour at the max.
That's prospecting.
Yeah.
That's all part of it. So when we say you're prospecting for leads, we're not saying that you are like, there's a list in front of you and you're just calling engagement as part of that
So
prospecting.
open houses or flyering or that's all.
Yes,
prospecting.
absolutely. Door knock, it's all prospecting. That's what you're doing.
Okay,
Yeah. It's engagement.
okay.
Yeah.
I had several.
Good.
And
Good.
I like that, that's all prospect.
It is.
And hearing different ways of doing it, that was huge.
Good. Good, good, good. Scripts is everything. They know when they are talking to somebody who is too new to answer certain, your answers need to be, they need to be quick. They need to flow very naturally if you do it and do it and do it. You know, we do script training at there 3 times a week, I think it is. And it's gonna be phenomenal when we are in our huge room of script training, and you know, you can only imagine 3 to 4 mornings every single day. Sometimes somebody will say the silliest thing and you're like, aha, why wasn't I thinking of that? I was out of our Gilbert Center and I was walking by her office, it was probably 8-9 months ago, and I heard her saying something to an agent and I was like, back up, I wanna hear this because I love her approach. And she said, hey, it was fantastic. You just closed. I wanted to thank you. I wanted to congratulate your client. And I could hear the guy saying, you know, hey, thanks. She goes, hey, I love working with pros on the other end. What are you doing? No, have you considered the education that we have to offer here? You know, it allowed her to engage a little bit about just sharing that our platform here offers so much when it comes to script training, the support, the education. I thought that was brilliant. What it is, nobody wants to be sold on anything, right? And it's just, this is the value we find here. Do you want to take all the time? Anything else you want to add to it? To the script training?
That was huge.
It's on your list to do. Good, good.
I also moved from out of state, so that was
Good. What state are you from?
Oh man, I love so much of what you said. You're amazing.
Yes.
I just give her a hand. Seriously. People do this for free, and they give you all their secrets. It's just amazing to me. Anyway, I loved, and that's just a
Good.
boring, so I love that keyword,
Good.
and I'm going to use that. The other thing I wanted to ask you really, who does all your baskets and who you know, is it an admin doing all that for you?
And yes, and yes, and yes. So we have admin who manages it all.
Okay.
My admin got an admin. She got so busy. You have to. You have to shift. You have to grow, and you have to be scalable, right?
Yeah.
So my goal for the last 5 years, how many duties can I fire myself from?
Yes.
So that I can focus on team growth. And I need you to walk away. If you are working with somebody who is like, wait, let me pivot, say, that's not our partner. We need a partner on the other side who's like, you got it, same spend, deliver, yes, that's it. Card on file, get it done. So we particular about who all we're working with, but that's huge. The title company I work with, their graphic business cards, our EDDMs, our flyers, our thank you cards, specialized. Even our book is custom made now, our buyer's and seller guide. And it took a long time for us to get to that point, but that is where we are, and we're happy to write those checks all day long for somebody to put on.
Yeah.
The big thing is you gotta get unique, you've gotta have something to do. By the way, every title company I know offers these services. You just have to connect and get stuff done. Right? At the end of the day, it's the legwork you're gonna put into it. Yeah. Who are you? One weekend.
Well, yeah, everybody knows my story now. I need to ask for more reviews from past clients.
Good. Awesome. Good. Good, good, good. Set up your profile. Get it going.
Yep.
Yeah, good. What did you take away that you're gonna put into your business?
I'm working a lot of climbing right now.
Good.
Not related to this kind of job, but I need to talk with them.
Good. That are not in the real estate field, you mean?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
in a different kind of job, but I'm climbing like
Good.
every day, so.
That's wonderful. Yeah, let people know. Create something. Make something that they can physically leave with. You know what I mean? That they can walk away with it. It's huge. Laura, aha.
A lot of ahas. I agree with a few of the ones that they had already previously mentioned, but to me, one of the big ones is like you, getting my reviews in the Zillow. I've been working on that this week already.
By the way, we get the most Zillow reviews by text. You can go to Zillow, you can copy a link, and you can copy it right into your phone. The template is super simple. It was my pleasure to take care of your, take a moment out of your day and send over a review to us. And the link is right there, and they click right there and they leave it right there. We were doing emails, we were doing phone calls, we were begging the system, like, you drop a review, I drop off $20, like something, but please respond. No, the text messages, brilliant idea to do it.
So that was the one big one for me, hers.
Good.
Now that, 15 months in, I've always kind of like scattered looking for different trades.
Yep.
That's a huge one, just finding the referral partners. I love the equity statement comment versus the CMAs. That's a really big one. And just moving forward, putting all the contacts in my phones with the notes.
Yep.
And setting, or whatever
Right.
to remind you.
Now you guys are lucky, you guys have sync on your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can literally talk, and we would like knock on the door, and while we walked to the next door, we were like, just met with Amber ringing about, she wants an equity statement done. I mean, we would literally talk into our phone till the next door that we knocked on, but so good for you, awesome.
For me, the major one was the referral partners as well, because I know so many financial advisors and attorneys and like people, like we can serve them and get benefits.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely,
Sure.
absolutely. If it is intimidating for you to start off by saying that to have the opportunity to service your clients, perhaps the better approach is, because this tell them, what are your needs? Who can I send your way? Until I developed a relationship with them, I'd love to service your clients as well. Yep, so just starting somewhere though, but you gotta start. Yeah, good,
Three quick ones. The
Yes.
business card.
okay,
This is what I do, what do you do? I never thought somebody
Yep.
would learn more about it. Second one, I live in a senior community, so, you mentioned that you do your best database building in an environment you're comfortable with. So us seniors like to play golf.
yep,
We love this.
there you go.
We love karaoke and drink. So,
You love drinking.
and build your database and doing things that you like.
Absolutely.
Third one was cousins and family members. My wife has a big family in Chicago and I have one in Hawaii. Never thought about letting them know
Yeah,
for referrals what I do.
it's huge,
So-
it's huge, yeah. Good, good.
For me, the market analysis, you're still offering them something different, at least
Yes.
in their mind. And then the other was, I think it comes down to care and the communication, like you said something about stay a step ahead, but it's just, and the thing I liked about that was, you likened it to us being in a hospital going through a procedure. We're positioned as they are, we buy houses ourselves and all this stuff.
Right.
Think what's important to us,
Do it for them.
do it for them,
Yeah,
or ask the question at least, if that's what's important to them.
good, 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 good. Yay.
I'm thinking more about my referral network. I used to rely on DNI,
Uh-huh, yeah.
but it didn't work well. And I just stayed. I haven't been in for like 3 years. And
Okay.
we went to dinner not that long ago. We talked about maybe forming around what it's like to do as an agent.
Right.
Every time we do this, thinking in my head how to build a referral network outside of that. Because
Right.
I love that.
The years that you have been in the industry, is it here locally?
Yeah.
Have like a million contacts you can reach out to and start going through your database and see who would be a great. The fit comes everywhere. Like the fit comes, I sold on to some of the banner system. All of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, huge fit.
Well, and
You know,
trying to go through like if you have a semi-retired intern in politics, it's not going to give you as many referrals as somebody.
before we sign off, well, you tell me, you're aha, sorry, it's
No,
right
that's
over
alright.
you.
I wanna organize my database better, and I wanna stay in contact with people better, and I also would like to, and I wanna spend time with my day spirit once a week, and I need to take the time to do that.
You do.
And I'm
Yeah.
starting this,
Yeah.
so.
So when you start to put that database back together, and you start to look them up on months, and you're like, oh my goodness, they moved twice already. Oh my goodness, they're living somewhere totally different. take that as fuel. Don't let that slip again. Because it's a huge learning thing. It's a huge slap in the face to know I've known these people for 10 years. Now they bought without me, they did. You can only look at yourself and say, I didn't keep in touch with them. I've got to keep in touch. So good for you. Yay. Thank you for joining us today, by the way.
That was
Great to
awesome.
have you guys. You can find me anywhere. Text me, call me. I'm here. Anywhere and everywhere.
Guys, hang on one sec. Thank you for coming. I got your email. I'm gonna send you a thank you note. We have another class or something coming up, what?
Yeah, so Dawn from Fidelity is coming today to, again, we'll have scripts for you if you want to make some calls around circle prospecting and say, hey, he's providing that list for us. So come downstairs and see what that's all about. If you're in Bowl, this will help you add another facet to your business.
Is that in the bulletin? Or tomorrow, taught by Danette Ernest, and I think that's listings. Practice with contracts, the listing contracts should be here tomorrow from 8, 9 to 11, and then Friday. Cool.
I think there's anything looks like it's something you can use, grab one. I think they left some copies up here.
And don't track your stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Boy, they
How are you?
good.
Yeah?
Chugging along.
Yeah?
Alright, what is your favorite?
Everything's close.
Yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put you in my PC.
Okay, so let me go downstairs.
Because I sent it, so